is the Fade 5 Podcast with Brad Evans and Nate Lundy.
Place your bets at Jack Wagons. Rather big noise, Edmonton. Joined by the good son, Nathaniel Lundy. 'Tis indeed another edition of the Fade 5 Podcast. And let's not waste a second of time. Honk, honk. Of course, we got stinking tickets for Ride on the Plus Bus. And we could have a plethora of points tonight. That total keeps on climbing right now in the Charm City. Opened at, I think, 49.5 at a couple of books. It's now at 53.5. I'm be shocked if this sucker closed at like 54.5, 55. So bring on the scoring, Lundy. What do you like at plus money?
Oh, let's see here, Brad. We could go with an SGP. We could go with some made-up, obscure player that no one's ever heard of. For an anytime touchdown. But I'll tell you what, I'm with you. I think we're going to see points, and more points. I think it is going to be pew, 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 pew. It's like lighting up the Christmas lights, which some people apparently are starting to do. There's Halloween decorations.
God, too early.
Yeah, you got to at least wait till after Halloween, even if you're just one of those psycho people that just has to do it. But I need everybody to slow down and breathe. We're not ready for the Christmas lights yet, but maybe this guy will make it a Christmas for us this evening. So instead of going with a name that nobody's heard of, but if we think there's going to be a lot of points tonight, and there are a plethora of piñatas. There are a plethora of injuries, as a matter of fact, on both of these teams, which is part of where I think some of the scoring is going to come from. And if that's the case, how about we go to the god himself, Amon-Ra St. Brown? I'll take him for an anytime touchdown, Brad. I like this at a nice, it's nothing crazy, right? Like you can jump in on Jameson Williams, for example. He's a popular one right now amongst the various folks like you and I that like to predict the touchdowns. He's at like 260, 265.
Yep.
It's tempting. And I may wind up sprinkling something on him, but I'm going to go with ARSB right here for an anytime touchdown. This is just kind of a gut feeling that in a shootout, this guy finds his way into the end zone. I'm not going to bore you with a bunch of analytics and crap. This is just Lundy pulling one out of his ass.
Oh, yeah, coming off the hat trick of TDs that he had last week. The good times could keep on rolling tonight with some of those bombs being dropped in Baltimore. Of course, I'm going to go with mandatory Montgomery at Jackals. No, I'm not taking him in the anytime touchdown market, although that's somewhat appealing. Juice on this even sexier. Give me the over on 2.5 receptions, Lundy. At a plus 140 book there at BetMGM. Through 2 weeks, the Ravens have allowed 4. That's right. 4 running backs to go over this total already, as the Cleveland Browns, I think, were responsible for 3 of those performances. Joe Flacco nickel and diming them all over the field. I don't know if Jared Goff is going to do the same, but he has already done that this season. Remember the 10-catch game in week 1 that Jahmyr Gibbs had, and Montgomery was a busy man running some routes in that contest. Now, he's only seen 7.6% of the team target share. It's exactly 5 targets in total, not per game, in total, running 9 routes per contest as well. He's only trotting out on a pass route on 25.4% of his snaps, but against the Packers, had 4 grabs. He followed up with only 1 grab in a revenge game scenario against my Chicago Bears. In a game in which there could be oodles of points scored, I think David Montgomery is going to be active as a pass catcher. Give me the over. 2.5 receptions at a plus 140 available there at BetMGM. With those bets on the board, it's time to get after it with another edition of the Fade 5.
Number 5.
Oh, let's go deep into the bag, and let's go ahead and purchase a TeSlaa as an Isaac TeSlaa of the Detroit Tigers. No, the Lions. They're cats. I had baseball in the mind there for a second. They're all cats in Detroit. We know that. And this is a cat that is surely going to purr, I believe, in the box score, Lundy. Give me the over on 10.5 yards on his longest reception at a minus 120 there at BetMGM. You look at the standard prop, I think it's around like 15.5 on yards receiving. But if TeSlaa is going to grab a pass, chances are it's going to be for a chunk gain. So far this season, 1 target, 1 catch for 29 yards. And then followed up with 1 target, 1 catch for 13 yards and a touchdown. So he's not seeing a ton of action, though the coaching staff has already come out and said in days leading up to the Monday night affair, hey, we probably should get this kid a little bit more involved with some of the ridiculous one-handed grabs that he has made. That one was for a touchdown earlier this season. He's only running 7 routes per game, but you look at the ADOT, average depth of target at 20.0. Oh, let me remove the belt. That's rather attractive there. You look at Baltimore. They're number 12 in dropback EPA defense entering the week. Probably going to see a lot of Nate Wiggins in coverage. Wiggins only gave up 9.3 yards per catch to his assignments this season, but he's also surrendered at 62.5% catch rate. All I need is one grab. I think this is a definition of single play payday on Isaac TeSlaa, over 10.5 yards on his longest catch. It's going to be a little sweaty outcome, I can tell you that, at a -120 at BetMGM. Lundy, fade or follow, does the Rook catch a damn ball?
Well, okay, I like the idea of this being a one and done. I just don't know that I would play him on the longest catch part of this. Why can't you just take his yards prop?
Because it's higher. If he's only going to catch one ball, chances are it's going to be over the 10.5. It's a better number than the overall receiving yards prop.
But isn't his overall receiving yards number at like 13 or 14?
I think it's either 14.5 or 15.5. So I get like a 4 or 5 yard value. Hell yeah, I'll take that all diggity day long.
All right. I think you're playing with fire here. But, you're exactly right. It is a one and done kind of payday. So I'll roll with you on this one. But I don't know. I'm still a little confused by the TeSlaa part of all of this.
Well, I will say this. My body is prepared to get burned.
Number 4.
All right, numero cuatro here on the Fave 5 countdown. Let's go with another Detroit Lions product, and he's sure to pay. That's Jahmyr Gibbs. I'm banking on him get a lot of grabs in this game. I'm going to go the alt market, 30 or more receiving yards, and I grabbed this at ESPN Bet at +120. Look at Baltimore. They've already given up 17 receptions again to the running back position. Now, James Cook's the only one to go over 30 yards against him through the air. Back in week 1 in that very instant classic memorable game against the Buffalo Bills, Cook had 58 receiving yards in that affair. You look at Gibbs, he's a busy man as a pass catcher, averaging 22 routes per game. He's running around on 62% of his snaps. Now, in that game against Green Bay, again, he set an NFL record for lowest receiving yards total while having the most receptions in a game, and it was 10, only had 31. Hey, he still got there on little nibbles and chunks, so hopefully it's not going to be a similar style of usage. Followed up, though, only 3 grabs for 10 yards against my Chicago Bears. But again, Gibbs, and what I feel is going to be a high-flying, high-scoring kind of affair, given the fact that Baltimore is just willing to give up a lot of that short field action. Give me him. 30-plus receiving yards, numero cuatro here in the countdown, available +120 at ESPN Bet. Lundy, fair to follow.
So I like this one. It's not how this podcast is formatted, and therefore I did not get the opportunity. But I will fade you, by the way, on your plus bus. I don't think that's happening. I don't think it's going to happen for Monty. I would take the under on 2.5 receptions for him in this contest. Now, Gibbs, a little bit different. I like seeing him get the ball and just start scampering. So 30 or more yards at plus money, you could talk me into this. Like it better at a lower total and part of an SGP, but I'll play along.
Oh, yeah, let's grab some of those greenbacks with Jahmyr Gibbs over on receiving yards.
Number 3.
And button pushed. All right, numero trace here on the Fade 5 countdown. Let's get some more plus money on the board. Why the hell not? Same game parlay style. I'm going to get some action on both quarterbacks, but in different markets. Leg numero uno. Give me Jared not so Goffel, 250 plus pass yards. And leg numero dos. Give me the legs of Action Jackson. Lamar Jackson, 25 plus rush yards. Put those hands together. Plus 115. Attractive juice there at BetMGM. Going back to Goff, 250-plus pass yards. Again, the Ravens, respectable number 12 in drop-back EPA defense entering Week 3's action, but they gave up 394 yards against one Josh Allen, and then 219 against the Cleveland Browns, and it was a pair of quarterbacks. So it was Flacco and Gabriel in a very lopsided affair. So I think ultimately Truth's going to be somewhere in the middle. I think Goff's going to get to this alt market. He's completing over 80% of his attempts through 2 games. Guy, sure, yeah, he's just number 28 in terms of the yards per attempt, air yards per attempt, I should say, but he's gone over in 1, under in the other, 334 against my Chicago Bears, only 2.25 against a more stiffer and stout defense in the Green Bay Packers. But I believe Goff, I think this game is going to be highly competitive. I don't think it's going to be necessarily forced catch-up time. Even if they have a slight lead, I think he's going to get to the desired number here, which is 250-plus. Meanwhile, like numero dos, Lamar Jackson, 25-plus rush yards. Detroit, number 3 in rush EPA defense entering the week. But Caleb Williams ran for 27 against them. And Lamar Jackson, even more electric with damn legs. He knows how to use them. 16% carry rate he is seeing so far, 10.4 yards per carry, which is utterly insane in the membrane. The first 2 weeks, 70 rush yards, and followed by only 13, but that 13, I think, was rather anomalous. So pull it all together. Give me Jared Goff in the same game parlay, 250-plus pass yards. Lamar Jackson, just 25 or more rush yards, and that pays a cool plus 115 at BetMGM. Numero tres on the Monday night edition of the Feed 5 Countdown. Lundy, fair to follow.
Oh, come on, man. Lamar Jackson, you can't control him. You can only hope to contain him. I mean, geez, you're going to see the 25 yards rushing. You might see 20 in the first half. Jared Goff for 250 in a shootout. So the reason why I went with Amon-Ra St. Brown for the potential touchdown anytime on the contest at plus 120. And it's because I think we're going to see a lot of scoring tonight. So if that's going to happen, Goff's going to have to put the ball in the air. This one, plus 115, nice little simple 2-leg SGP. Folks, jump on this one.
Yeah, let's make some quarters with those quarterbacks. All right, you know where you can also make money is fading me. At thegamingjuice.com, you jackals. It's my free site. Lundy's free. Always transparent, always public spreadsheet. Lives there as well. So does mine. I'm up this week, though I was slightly down on the extended card there on a Sunday in NFL week numero tres. So hopefully going to finish on a high note tonight in the Ravens and Lions matchup. We're going to have another college football forecast from Matt Fortuna, Ben Wittenstein, and Nate Jacobson a little bit later in the week. I'll probably roll that out on Thursday. My Fantasy Flames columns for the next week of NFL action begins tomorrow. On Tuesday, I'll have the quarterbacks. I've already written it. I may even post on a late night tip tonight, followed by the running backs coming up in a couple of days, wide receivers and tight ends, all my top props content, and to my fantasy football rankings for week number 4. They're already live on the site. I'll be updating them as news trickles out throughout the entire week. And you can ask me a question. Click Ask Brad at the top of the screen. Fire off your inquiries, and I will get to them as soon as humanly possible. And again, I don't charge you a dime, so get it all at thegamingjuice.com. Click, converse, and cash. ... Maybe.
Number 2.
All right, numero dos here on the Fave 5 Countdown. Seal, Smashall, the football Frankenstein, Derrick Henry. I got to work in a prop on him. And, of course, naturally got to go in the anytime touchdown market. No way in living hell am I going to bet him individually at the sky-high juice. So you got to get creative with the cheese whiz here. And try to, match it with something else, reduce the juice and get seduced by the juice. And we got a little baby seduced by the juice on this simple 2-legger. Same gamer, build a DraftKings Sportsbook. Henry with that anytime touchdown. And the Baltimore Ravens just to win straight up. I think it's going to be a highly competitive game. I might have to, wipe off the brow at the end of the contest. Could come down to a field goal kick. But all I need is the Ravens to score that victory and Henry to find the end zone, and I cash in at a plus 102 available there at DraftKings Sportsbook. Quick background, Betalytics only gives Henry a 48.9% chance of crossing the chalk tonight. I think honestly it's probably going to be close to like 55 or 60%. You look at Detroit, they're giving up 4.05 yards per carry to opposing Plowshares on the young year. They've also given up a couple of touchdowns despite ranking number 3 in rush EPA defense. You look as well at Derrick Henry. Yeah, he only has a couple of red zone totes on this season, but he's seen 73.2% of the opportunity share. Number 4 in yak per attempt at 4.66. Obviously a calling card. He gets downhill. You're going to get sent to your grave. I mean, he just flattens people in the open field. So in goal-to-go situation, hopefully Lamar Jackson will not call his own name. Hopefully the ball goes straight to the belly of the football Frankenstein. Oh, I see hole. I smash hole. Oh, and he scores 6, and the Ravens secure the victory in the end. So to recap, números on the Fave 5 countdown, same game parlay. Derrick Henry, anytime touchdown. Baltimore Ravens to score the win. They're on the money line, plus 102 at DraftKings. Really like this one. Lundy, fade or follow.
Well, it all comes down to the touchdown, right? Because I'm with you on Baltimore. I think Baltimore wins this contest. I will tell you, Dan Campbell against the spread, ATS is his success rate is insane, folks.
Yes.
So if you believe in Baltimore, I would not mess with the points. Not at all, because Dan Campbell is a covering machine, especially when he is an underdog. So in my opinion, stay far, far, far away from the spread. Just worry about the money line. If in fact you want to take Baltimore, do not worry about the spread, which means you got to put it together with something. Look, you always have the problem with Lamar Jackson calling his own number, especially if he's pissed about the loss to Buffalo. So if all of those things come through, you could be in trouble, but it is hard to stop Derrick Henry once they get close. And we all know, despite that size, despite the fact that he looks like, who was it? Davis that ran that in for Philadelphia after the blocked extra point. Even though Henry is about his size, Henry's got some wheels, folks. So this doesn't even have to be something that he's running from inside the 5. This could be a 30-yard touchdown run or catch and run with the way Derrick Henry plays. So I think this is a smart way to be able to do it. But again, I'm going back. Hold on, because I want to find this. Dan Campbell, 63.4% against the spread in his career. 61.4, and that number jumps to 63.4 when he's a dog. I mean, come on, man. This guy is just like he goes down swinging. He's biting kneecaps.
No doubt about it. The Baltimore Basher smash home a winner for me.
Number 1.
Numero uno, the Monday Night Football edition of the Fade 5 podcast. I wrote about this at thegamingjuice.com. I wrote about The Athletic as well, and I'm sticking to my guns, baby. Rashod Bateman, 40-plus receiving yards. I'm going to go with the alt market on this one to achieve plus money, available plus 102 at DraftKings Sportsbook. I know Bateman has been largely in the basement, cool, damp, and dark to begin the season. Only 4 grabs for 25 yards in total through 2 games, but this is a sensational mano-a-mano matchup. You look at Detroit as a collective, number 20 in pass EPA defense, so very subpar there. They enter the week allowing the 6th most yards to the wide receiver position, but most importantly, he's got to see a lot of Terry and Arnold in coverage. The DB of Detroit has allowed the most yards entering the week of any defensive back in the NFL, and that number at 176. So Bateman, yes, uncharacteristic number 52 in total air yards entering week 3. He's wide receiver 72 in yards per target. Zay Flowers has been the money man for Lamar Jackson. Hell, even DeAndre Hopkins is catching some bombs. There's already a couple of touchdowns to the board. I think tonight is the night for Rashod Bateman. Remember, he scored 9 touchdowns last year, had nearly 1,000 yards receiving, can really stretch the field. So do it for your college. Do it for your home in Minnesota. Rashod Bateman, numero uno on the countdown on this Monday night. 40-plus receiving yards at a plus 102. Available at DraftKings. Lundy, fade or follow.
Yes, sir. Let's rock and roll on on this one. His receptions prop is over under 2.5. You play the over on that, but you're looking at a pretty substantial juice, in my opinion. You're looking at like minus 135, minus 140, depending upon the book that you're at. So his receptions number is one that you should be thinking about in an SGP, not necessarily to play it by itself, just because the juice is there. But I do think he winds up with a substantial amount of yards. So if we're looking for Bateman to get the job done, yes, sir, this is a good way to be able to play it because you can get the alt number at DK, get yourself up to plus 102. Son of a bitch, I agreed with Brad on whole fade 5.
Yes, yeah, indeed you did. So that means it's going to be an 0 for 5 night, which means, hey, America, fade the living daylights out of us and then buy that island in the Bahamas. All right, let's give some more highly fettable bets on the board. It's bonus time, bonus time. Monday Night Football. You probably got some action, silly wise, on the diamond in Major League Baseball or anywhere else. If you're already looking ahead to the next late NFL games or in college football, I have not recovered from the weekend and the mauling that I saw. The live execution that I witnessed of my University of Illinois Fighting Illini at the hands of the Indiana Hoosiers, who are the real deal Holyfield. You have been alerted, members of the Big Ten. So, Lundy, all I require are more bets. So give them to me. Give them to me.
Let's have some fun. Yeah, I was worried about Brad a little earlier in the weekend as I was watching Indiana completely throttle his Illini. Yeah, it was painful, folks. Let's get a couple more bets in on the Monday night affair. Give me the over. Over, if I like Amon-Ra St. Brown on the touchdown, I'm going to take the over on 21.5 for his longest reception in this contest at a minus 115. I think he can get one of those deep balls, get a little lucky. His longest on the season so far is sitting at 34, but I think he can get another one done in this particular contest. Again, over 21.5 on Amon-Ra St. Brown. The crappy part of having waited, because I saw this earlier this week, and then I was like, I don't know, maybe I got distracted by a squirrel. I don't really know what happened, but I forgot to bet it, and I wish that I had, because Zay Flowers opened the week, Brad, with his longest reception at 23.5, and that thing has now climbed all the way to 26.5. So screw that.
Wow.
I'm not playing that one anymore. I wish I had. I don't know. Like I said, squirrel. I got distracted somehow, and I didn't wind up finding my way into making that bet. But I really wish that I had, because I feel like that would have been a very, very nice payday. Folks, snag a half unit bet today, and this is another TYG special. Throw a half unit at plus 400 on D-Hop to splash 6. I will take DeAndre Hopkins, and I can't resist plus 400. It's just one of those numbers where I'm just like, ooh, 4-1, 4-1, 4-1. I like when those kinds of things happen. And if you give me something that starts with a 3, let alone a 4, you're probably going to be able to get my attention. All right, so here we are entering the final week of Major League Baseball. Almost every team has about 6 games left on their schedule. You're watching some of the wild card battles that are taking place, and there is a couple of those teams that have been on my radar, and they're playing each other this evening. That would be the Brew Crew going on the road to take on the San Diego Padres with a 9:40 Eastern time start time. So this is going to be one of the late night ones. This could be something you're chasing as you're enjoying Monday Night Football. Maybe you followed our bets and therefore you're losing, and you've decided that you want to try to figure out a way to be able to make some money. I will give you this one for Nick Pivetta, who will actually be on the bump for the Padres this evening. Pivetta's ERA is a full 1.3 difference from road to home. Pivetta has a 2.22 ERA at home compared to a 3.5 plus ERA when he's on the road. And again, he is at home this evening. So give me the under on 4.5 hits allowed by Pivetta at a minus 111 at DraftKings. The only guy really that has a decent history against Pivetta on the Brews roster is Christian Yelich. Other than that, everybody else is in like the 200 range. Yelich does okay against him, and Pivetta doesn't have a lot of strikeouts against him. Only lifetime 3 strikeouts in 19 at-bats. So Yelich gets the ball in play, but it's not necessarily turning into a lot of hits. I think Pivetta keeps this team in check. The Padres are still in a position right now where they are trying to make sure they hold on to their status in the wild card. So they've got a lot to play for. Milwaukee does as well, because if they want to hold on to their spot in the they've already clinched the division, but if they want to hold on to their spot in terms of home field, all those kinds of things, Milwaukee's got a little bit of a tougher road compared to Philly, who's chasing them, because Philly tomorrow is going to start a set with the freaking Marlins, okay? And the Marlins are like 1 loss away from being eliminated. So Philly's got a really good chance of taking 2 out of 3, maybe even a sweep of the Marlins. And so therefore, I think Milwaukee's got a lot to play for in terms of holding it up. I think San Diego's got a lot to play for because they're trying to get the job done in their position in the wild card. And because of that, I think Pivetta is going to bring it tonight. And over the course of the 16 home starts that he has this season, he's giving up an average of 3.6 hits. Again, that's why that ERA is so damn low for him at home. So play the under on his hits allowed at 4.5. I think he's going to finish right at the 4 mark, and then the Padres are going to give him the hook, and they'll go to their bullpen because this is an important game for them as well. So we will stick with that one. There's only 3 games on the baseball diamond tonight, so I'll have some other bets that we're going to have some fun with throughout the week. But I'm really looking forward to this Monday nighter. The other one I think that's still out there, Brad, you might have to tell me. I think Lamar Jackson's longest rush is at like 16. Give me the over. I think he's going to turn on the wheels at least once tonight and get one of those like 17, 18, 19-yard gains. So I will play the over on his longest rush. That's the other one I've got written down, and I can't read my handwriting, Brad, to see whether it's 15.5 or 16.5. But whatever it is, even if it's at 16.5, I will play it. I obviously like it better at 15.5. But I do think he's going to turn on the wheels at one point, trying to escape what's going on up front, and I'll take the over on that longest rush. I yield the floor to the fine gentleman from Illinois.
Oh, man, who has chicken scratch like me? That is one, Nathaniel Lundy. Very hard to read our own handwriting. Maybe we should, I don't know, use modern technology and type up all of our work on our various laptops. I would remember it. I do remember this. And my bonus time play is going to the Team Huevos parlay play on Monday Night Football. And I'm going to keep it simple, folks. A very sexy juice on this, on a 2-legger. Leg numero uno. Give me a Jahmyr Gibbs over 3.5 receptions. And leg numero dos. Give me the other JG. On the member of the Detroit Lions, that's Jared Goff, 2+ passing touchdowns. Before I give you the juice, let me give you the reasons behind each one of these legs. Again, leg numero uno and Jahmyr Gibbs, 3.5 receptions on that over. A guy that's averaging an obscene amount of receptions per game because of that 10-catch contest they already had earlier this season against the Packers. Only had 3 last week, but he has caught every single one of his damn targets this year. 100% catch rate on 13 of those looks from the hand of Jared Goff, again, who's completed over 80% of his pass attempts. You look at Gibbs, 19.7% team target rate. He's averaging 22 routes run per game, running around on 62% of his snaps played. And then meanwhile, I look at Baltimore, they're giving up 8.5 receptions per game to the running back position. You look at James Cook had 5 grabs. You look at the plethora of Cleveland Browns that went over, at least had 3 grabs, although only 1 went for the needed number. And that was one Jerome Ford. So put all together, I still think Gibbs going to be a busy man in the short field. So give me over 3.5 receptions. Then Jared Goff, 2+ passing touchdowns, coming off a 5-touchdown game. And remember, week 1, he was very dusty and rusty in that match against the interdivisional rival Green Bay Packers. Only had 1 in that one, but he's number 9 enter the week in red zone completion percentage, number 2 in true completion rate, according to playerprofiler.com. The Ravens have allowed 2 passing touchdowns to opposing signal callers in back back-to-back games. Of course, that was Josh Allen and the pair of passers they saw in the Browns' lopsided win. So put all together, again, the team Huevos parlay play on a Monday. Jahmyr Gibbs over 3.5 catches. Jared Goff 2+ passing touchdowns plus 180. Really rolling the shoulders on that one, baby. Available at BetMGM. All right, elsewhere in bonus time. Lundy, here is a creative way to play some more Amon-Ra St. Brown. I'm going to take the over the 6.5 receptions. I'm going to parlay that with a very low 41.5 alternate game total. So that way you eliminate the minus money and you get to just even, Steven, plus 100 juice. And I'm a buyer in on that. You look at Amon-Ra. He should be a busy man, the sun god, in this one. Coming off that monstrous 9-catch, 115-yard, 3-touchdown game against my Chicago Bears. Hey, but they still won. Thank you, Dallas, for sucking. St. Brown seeing 25.8% of the team target share. It's 8.5 looks per game. He's number 17 in catchable target rate because of the pinpoint accuracy of one Jared Goff. Now, I got to get a lot of Marlon Humphrey working out of the slot and coverage. Humphrey's allowed a 66.7% catch rate, 139.1 passer rating, and he's number 65 according to PFF and pass coverage grade entering week 3. So really good shot that Amon-Ra, I think, gets over the 6.5. And again, I think this game's going to be sky high. There's a reason why it keeps tricking up, folks. And again, I just need to get to 42 or more total points, and I nail the front end. So again, over 41.5. Amon-Ra over 6.5 receptions plus 100. Hey, do you like living in the middle? Cue the Jimmy Eat world in the background. Lundy, another fun way to play Detroit plus the points. If you are buying that the Ravens are going to win this sucker, again, just squeeze yourself in the middle of a little same game parlay. And I built this at BetMGM. Ravens money line. All I got to do is win straight up. And the Lions plus 14.5. So they can lose by 2 touchdowns with the extra points and still cover. It's plus 115. That's crazy to me. A very evenly matched. If you look at the EPA data, these two teams, I think it's going to be a one-possession kind of game. If you want to take it down and get even greedier to like Baltimore plus 10.5, or not Baltimore plus 10.5, the Lions plus 10.5, and the Ravens on the money line, you can get even juicier number as a result. So that's a great way to play that same gamer and take advantage of the algorithm there. And I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of action on Zay Flowers to have the most receiving yards in the game. Best number I've seen is at ESPN Bet at plus 225. If you shop around, like DraftKings has it at plus 180. BetMGM and Tape Time and yet to post that market. Really should be, anything greater than 2-1 odds, I would jump all over it. He could be a very, very busy man, and he has been the premier field stretcher, not Rashod Bateman, shockingly enough, for this Baltimore Ravens offense. All right, I'm out of breath, and we are out of time here on this edition of the Fade 5 podcast. Drop us a rating and a review at your convenience. Also, fade or follow us. Follow Lundy on the X at Nate Lundy. Follow me on the X at Noisy Huevos. Go to thegamingjuice.com right now and sign up for a free account. And also go to betalytics.com and use promo code JUICE. That's promo code JUICE for 25% off. Excellent resource in all of your sports betting research. It's also useful for fantasy football as well. So for the outstanding and lovely and handsome and very tired Nathaniel Lundy working some Oktoberfest over the weekend.
That's a lot of
some amber beers.
That was a lot of bratwurst. That's a lot of bratwurst.
Yeah, you would be worn out, and so would your bowels. I'm Brad Evans. Until next time, as always, fade or follow. That is up to you. Give us some points, boys.